article about this burglar that's been found, shot, shoved down a manhole, relatively close to where the incident occurred with the warehouse. And like I said, you have a pretty good contact with Sergeant O'Malley, sure that was there because of Kyle's character.
Okay.
That's right, and there was supposed to be an auction of stuff that was coming in, but the warehouse.
I'm sure you call each other up and you're like, did you see the paper? You know?
Yeah, let's go talk to O'Malley, man. See what he knows, see what he can tell us.
Yeah, I figure we need to find out, see if we can do some research on this Maxwell Stanley guy, burglar who was shot. Find out who was trying to steal this shit. Who he was trying to steal it for, I should say. Or maybe he was still working for himself. We don't know at this point.
Not really sure. You did put out some feelers, earlier with some contacts, but you haven't had any calls back. Of course, it is the new day, so you haven't talked to the cop today yet.
So I'm just gonna read. So this Maxwell Stanley guy, the burglar. God, I'm looking at this newspaper article here. I say he got away, right? He didn't actually die, Maxwell Stanley. He got shot.
Yeah. No, he's dead. They
Okay.
found his body stuffed down that manhole cover. His body's they recovered his body basically.
But evidently he had some accomplices that got away with this stuff.
You don't know. You would think. I mean, basically, what you guys discovered at the warehouse was, you guys heard a shot, right? You're like, what? You hear a shot. You go outside. You kind of figure out it's down the block. You start walking down there. By the time you get down there, the police are there with Goldberg, the guy who owns the warehouse. And you're like, oh, hey, there was a shot. They're like, what? They didn't know there was any kind of firearm. So you start searching around the property. At the back of the property, you find where the window's been jimmied. Apparently someone went in there and grabbed this shit and brought it out. There's tire tracks, but there's a big pool of blood. And the next day, they find this guy's body a couple blocks away, stuffed down a manhole cover.
Oh.
So apparently maybe there were other actors, right?
Yeah, I knew all that except for the manhole.
Well, roll your intelligence.
I don't remember that.
Idea roll?
Idea roll. You both can do that. So you both talk a little bit. You think, wow, it's probably, maybe someone hired this guy to grab this shit, and then when he got it to him, they just killed him.
Yeah,
You know?
got it.
And took the stuff. Used him to lift it.
Are there any people out and about that we could ask around? Hey, did you see anything? I mean,
and then took the stuff away.
Are there any people out and about, like, we could ask? I mean, is anybody around? Neighborhood, businesses, bars, anything, like where the manhole cover was?
For some reason, I'm not hearing Tom. Let me reconnect to Discord.
Yeah, it says in the newspaper article, Tom says Mr. Maxwell's body was found under a manhole cover on Wharf Lane near the waterfront. He had been shot once with a .45 caliber weapon. Police are looking for any information regarding Mr. Maxwell.
I would assume the police have already done that investigation and looked.
Yep, and so we might want to talk to the police first.
Yeah.
Find out if they found out anything about this. So,
Especially if we have a connection.
yeah, we do. I think Kyle's characters has connections, inside info.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't have any pictures of what the stuff was stolen, right? We have a description, general description, no photos or anything.
Yeah, as far as I know. But the background, and the guy who owned the stuff that was selling it, he was some kind of disavowed monk. Not a very nice guy. Apparently he was torn apart by a pack of feral dogs.
Yeah, I read that.
Which I doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
We know better, but we don't,
Yeah.
but we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can hear you guys now. All right, so sorry about that.
Perfect.
All right, so catch me up. What were you guys talking about?
We're just talking about the case.
Yeah.
Feral dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Tearing apart the monk.
Yeah, it's a little
Yes.
unsettling. This guy was kind of a really shady character. Sure. How we got this stuff? 12th and 13th century paintings? Or, Madonna's 12th and
Madonna's, yeah.
surrealistic hellscape paintings?
Painted by a Russian. Let's go talk to the cops first. Let's see what they got. That might be the obvious first step.
Yeah, I agree. If they find anything about the tire tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You go down to the precinct, and you find O'Malley. He kind of pulls you guys off to the side. He's like, "Oh, let's come outside and have a cigar." He walks you guys out in front of the precinct. He starts walking down the street. He pulls out a little piece of paper, and he hands it to you. And you look at it, and it's an address of some flop house down by the waterfront. And he's like, "That's Maxwell Stanley's last known address."
This is the guy who was shot, right?
Yeah. He's like, "I haven't sent anybody down there. The case is closed." So
Closed. Have you found the murderer?
no, we haven't found the murderer, but I'm just passing this information on to you guys so you can act on it as you want. I'm sure that's what Casper would want.
Oh, absolutely. Did
Yeah.
the body have anything on him when you found it?
No, no wallet, no ID, no weapon, no nothing, just shot.
So we know that Mr. Maxwell, the known criminal, accomplished burglar. Are there any indications of who he may have been working for?
Officially,
Was he a loner?
he was definitely involved in, to hire burglaries, and he of course he stole for himself too. He's basically a professional thief.
Oh, so he was a dodgy individual.
Yeah, he's a professional thief. He's well known, here in London, in the underworld, as far as being a top notch, second story guy. The guy knows how to break into places and get stuff.
Yeah, so he was
You know,
hired.
he's had a couple prison terms for stealing.
What does he normally
So,
steal? Is this outside of his normal MO, or does he steal everything?
he's stolen a large, bullion, cash, art. He has stolen art before. He's got good contacts as far as fences and stuff like that. So,
Any information on his circle of accomplices, business partners, fellow thieves?
yeah, we have a couple. Former associates that we're trying to track down. One guy that was his prison buddy, who apparently he ran with on the outside, and a fence that he used to sell items. We're looking for those guys right now.
Say the case is closed.
Well, put it this way: we're not going to press too hard.
The auction house hired anyone to do an investigation?
Well, I assumed you guys were doing the investigation. That's why I'm not going to press too hard. But of course, if you want me to, I can get the police fully involved.
No, we'll
It's
look
up to you
around.
guys. That's why I brought you the slip of paper with the address on it.
Yeah, let's go down there, man. I think we should change into more.
Of course, we could go down there with you.
No. Let's go down there more incognito. We'll change our clothes into more.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be better to keep a low profile investigating these matters. We'll certainly let you know if we need any help, Sergeant O'Malley.
Okay, excellent. Is Tom talking and I'm not hearing him?
Might be.
Tom, speak.
Can you hear Lee, Tom?
Hello. See, okay, so
hello?
is Tom talking right now?
Yep, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't hear him. Son of a bitch, man.
Look at the
I think
server.
I'm gonna have,
Look at the server settings here. Might be able to lower the bit rate or something. Looking at that earlier.
I may need to stop and run the audio through that. For some reason, this laptop I have, man, is a freaking bitch when it comes to this shit.
Lower the bit rate a little bit. Troubleshooting with this.
I'm gonna log off and try to log back on too.
Yeah. Hey Tom, exit the game voice channel and enter again.
Got it.
$48,000 Hz.
Hello.
All right, can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
I think it might be on Lee's end. Did lower the bit rate server though. It might less demand. Got a slower connection or something.
Yeah. So did he hear me say like we'll dress incognito and down
No, I don't think he
dressed
was.
like
I don't think he
hoodlums?
was here on you. Hello? You're muted.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
No, all I said, Lee, was that no offense, Constable, but we'll go by ourselves because we're gonna down dress and look like vermin and scum. We can like infiltrate this these undesirables.
And we'll look like very sophisticated dock workers.
Yes. See if I can take on more of a slang as a one poor Scottish
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
And we'll dress in some dirty overalls or something.
Yeah, so you look at this address and it's some nasty flop house down on the waterfront. His room number listed there.
I borrow some clothes from my gardener. Say no, don't wash them. I'll take them as they are.
Okay.
You have a gardener?
Of course, I'm not going to do it myself.
Yeah.
You can't injure his delicate hands. They're for surgery only.
Yes.
That's the peasants digging the dirt.
I even washed my hands for surgery. I was told that was a good thing.
Well, as for me, I grow a pretty mean squash.
So yeah, man, we'll get dressed up and see if we can blend in.
Yeah, I'll
Poke around a little
I'll
bit.
put my monocle away.
Okay. So you guys kind of dress down. You know the city, so you can get down to this particular flop house. It's down by the waterfront. There's some nasty docks and some bars, and there's this big flop house right there. You walk in, and there's a desk, and there's some old dude sitting at the desk, smoking a cigar.
Good evening, my good man.
Ah,
We'd like to inquire about a previous resident of yours.
ah,
A prior tenant, you see?
ah,
Are you okay, old fellow?
ah,
Have you been drinking?
ah. He pulls a bottle out from under the desk.
I look at Dr. Hastings and kind of screw up my eyes.
I throw out a silver dollar, go ding, or a crown, British crown, ding. I throw it his way. Perhaps you can.
He snatches it up.
Okay. Perhaps you can remember. That'll help jog your memory.
Sure, what do you want?
I pull out the newspaper clipping that I kept, but I clipped away the text and I just kept the picture that was in the paper, and I show him the picture.
Oh yeah, number 7. Number 7. It's second floor, number 7.
Huh. When was the last time you saw this gentleman?
A couple days ago. Yes.
Has he had any unusual... Together. Has he had any unusual visitors lately?
Tim just comes in, sleeps, and leaves.
Well, thank you, my good man. You don't mind if we have a look around, do you?
think you might have to show him another coin.
Bing. Flip him another crown.
What were you saying, Sean?
Tom was saying, do you mind if we look around?
Oh, see, for some reason I'm not picking him up. He goes back. He kind of turns his back and starts drinking from his bottle, smoking from a cigar.
Oh, let's go up.
Apparently doesn't care. It's a pretty bad part of town. You did give him a sterling pound.
Yeah, it's pretty juicy.
Yeah.
Let's go check this place out.
Right.
Whatever you want to do.
Number 7 it is.
You guys walk up the stairs.
I have my camera with me.
It's pretty dank and dark. Little, there's like an open light bulb hanging from some, cardboard wrapped wire. It's pretty rough. And sure enough, you walk down the hall. It's like the third room down there, number 7 on the right. They're in the hallway.
All right, I try the door. Is it locked?
Creepy.
I pull up my
it's locked.
I pull up my little pen light. It's locked, eh?
It is.
I knock at the door.
How do you knock? Do you knock like, nice and polite, or are you like
No.
slamming your fist on the door like it's a police, raid, or what do you?
No, it's a quite appropriate knock. It's a gentlemanly knock. Just
Okay.
tap tap tap.
Okay.
And I'm like,
yeah, no reply. You hear some people down the hall in the other room, some drunken revelry and some woman yelling at some guy. You fucking idiot! So there's stuff going on in the flop house. But no reply from your knock.
Well, I wonder if the clerk has a key.
Can't we just pick it? We have lockpick.
Pick it.
Yeah.
Never done such a thing.
Hold on here. I pull out some tools, see what I got. I'm trying to find my character, see if I even have skill. Hold on.
I think it'd be a locksmith or maybe mechanical repair.
Oh yeah, I would accept either of those.
Mechanical.
I think that's entirely unnecessary, Dr. Hastings. Let me ask the gentleman for a key. I'll be right back. And I go walking back downstairs while Dr. Hastings is fumbling for his whatever he's trying to pick the lock with.
So Casper has a lockpick skill.
Oh, okay, he's with us.
Oh, it does.
So yeah, so he's with you guys. So someone can roll for him.
All right, I'll roll for him.
We'll say Casper's with you guys.
Okay. He does indeed. He's got a 51.
Vladimir and Monsignor are off. They're doing various things today, but Casper's with you.
All right. Well,
Hope
the doctor
get ravaged by dogs.
Yeah, the professor's like very nervous right now. He's like never tried to actually break in or do any kind of breaking and entering. He's like looking over his shoulder, he's like sweating a little bit. Kind of nervous twitch. All right, let's see here. Locksmith.
Oh.
Missed it by quite a bit.
So he's trying. So Casper's like trying to, he's down there, he's working, he's trying to get it, and he's like, fuck. And he steps back, and he looks to the right and to the left, and he just puts his foot to the door, man. He basically kicks the lock off the hinge. Boom!
Professor kind of lets out a squeak.
He looks back and forth, and then he grabs you guys and he drags you in the room and he slams the door behind you. Boom.
uh,
All right, we're in.
and I straighten my necktie.
So
You wore a necktie?
I wear a necktie. And now I pull up my
The
monocle
doctor
so I
rolls
can
his eye.
actually see. Yeah. I've got my little pen light out, shining it around.
yeah, as you shine it around, you see there's like a bulb in the middle of the room with a little pull string.
Okay, I'll turn it on.
And look, it's a very simple room. There's like a dresser. There's a little closet. There's a little wash basin. There's a bed. Looks like there's a little foot locker, some kind of like little chest at the end of the bed. There's a phonograph with some records.
Records. I walk
There's a
over
little there's a little table with like a little toaster oven and some a loaf of bread and some jam and stuff on there.
All right, the professor walks over to the records and start looking through the records.
Is it a
So-
crank machine?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it's a lot of like popular music of the day, I guess you'd say. Classic. It's
I like that one.
it's more contemporary.
I'm looking more around for like in the desk area or papers or anything that would be like any indication of contacts that he had, Rolodex,
Foot Locker.
that kind of thing. Foot Locker. Sure.
So are you guys trying to spot hidden? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah, we're searching this place.
What's going on?
Come on, Casper.
Ooh, nicely done. The extreme.
So you guys are kind of rifling through the room. Says underneath the bed there's a loose floorboard.
Ooh.
A floorboard. All right.
And he pulls out his knife and he starts jimmying it up. And he pulls it out and there's this little metal box in there with a lock on it.
What is that you found there, Mr. Casper?
So it's he produces it. It's like a little metal cash box, a little strong box with a little lock on it.
Lockpick again.
Yeah, he'll try to get it open. Got like a regular lock on it. Like a lockpick
Does.
will work on it.
Yeah, it looks like a regular little lock, little tumbler.
All right, he'll set it down on the end table there, or whatever, and go to work on it.
Okay.
You can get it open. Roll a 28.
Right. So the lock comes off. Looks at you guys.
Professor crowds in to get a look.
Okay. So he opens the box, and in the box, let me get this so I can upload this. Just give me a second, guys. I guess I should probably. Give me a second. I'm gonna add a note. I'm
Sure.
gonna add a document. Okay, so if you look under the 1920s bullet, there's a little handout called ingot,
I see it.
right? And so there are these. You open the box and there's like 10 of these gold ingots that have this Chinese script on them.
Oh my.
I see that.
Oh yeah, I see that.
That is odd.
And along with the ingots, there's a card, and on the card it says Mrs. Chen's House of Music, and it has an address on it. And on the back, there's written in English is the word emerald. There's also a small pipe, and it looks like some black substance. You quickly identified as opium. There's about a gram of opium.
And a pipe? How many ingots are there? 10 ingots?
10 ingots, yeah, and they're pretty hefty.
Is the script on all of them exactly the same, or are they a little bit different?
It's exactly the same, Tom.
And you said something about emerald written on something. What was that?
So there's a card, and the card is it's got Mrs. Chen's House of Music,
Chen's House of
and it's got it. Yeah, and it has an address on it, and then on the back it has in English it says emerald, like the stone emerald.
Just emerald. That's all it says now. That looked like Chinese to you, Doctor.
No, it does not. I don't know what it looks like. It's not Chinese. That doesn't look familiar to any kind of writing that I'm familiar with.
It does look like gold, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it's gold.
That,
You pick them up. I mean, as you pick these ingots up, you realize that they're probably like 3 ounces, maybe 3.5 ounces a piece. Good size ingots.
Any maker's marks on them or any other kind of markings except for the Chinese symbols?
No, just the symbols. Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah.
Have an odd shape too, like a peanut shape, eh?
Yeah. These impressions look like pressed into them.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of poured little ingot. You like it. It's definitely gold.
Nothing else in the box, no false bottoms, anything like that.
Oh, just the ingots, the card, the pipe, and the opium.
I mean, even though I don't know any of the Asian languages, can I get an idea of where they were fashioned or when they were made? From my quite good. Been studying archaeology for many decades now.
Do you have archaeology as a skill?
I do. I have 71.
Yeah, roll archaeology. Absolutely, man. You may. Okay, yeah. Who knows? Maybe you'll pull something up from your studies.
Yeah, like just looking for like a how old they are or maybe where they're from. I rolled a 71.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Done.
Okay. So you remember, man, that you attended this conference once. It was on old Chinese, various Chinese dynasties and stuff, and you recognize these as actually being a form of payment, from the royal family. Like these are it's an unusual find.
What
like,
is our
like Chinese royalty?
Yeah, these are like 11th century whatever dynasty. I'd have to look it up.
Yes, well, Doctor, I'm quite
Um,
quite certain that they are Chinese. Appear to be quite old.
What would our friend Mr. Maxwell be doing with something this old and this unique? This was not one of the items listed, right, at the auction house.
Well, if indeed Mr. Maxwell was involved with this burglary, perhaps himself or whoever he's working for seems to like antiquities. They're quite old and probably quite valuable. Not just the gold value, mind you.
I
yeah,
say we
absolutely.
stash these somewhere safe, and then let's go check out the address on this card.
Yeah. It has to do with Chinese royalty. I'm sure they're very valuable.
All right, gentlemen, I have to step away for just a couple minutes to deal with dog duties. I have to take the little dog out, so I will be right back. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna take a quick break then too. No, that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, me too.
No.
No, I'm back.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, man.
Problem?
Yeah. She's
back.
she's
I'm
like
back.
17, so she's a little old.
That's pretty old for a dog.
Yeah. She needs a little help.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second.
So, Tom, after finding the ingots, we're either bloody rich or we're in deep shit.
Yeah.
And I think it's
I
going to be
think
the
the
latter.
latter.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the Call of Gold
Right.
game show.
No. And I believe I was looking at the character sheets before we started. And I was looking at your character sheets. You're bloody rich anyway.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yeah. Very rich family. Gardener, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But still impressed with the gold ingots. I mean, they're very impressive.
They are quite impressive. Quite strange
Yeah.
finding them in a flop house on waterfront.
Yeah, definitely somebody of who likes the antiquities hired this guy, and this is probably what they paid him with. Or maybe he stole it from him, and that's why they killed him.
I also find it a little strange that old Sergeant O'Malley sent us down here. That was a little strange to me.
Yeah, and that the case was closed.
Yeah, like did the cops not come down here and search this place? Obviously not. I don't think they did.
Roll your ideas.
I'm
Your
full
interaction.
I'm full
You're
of
thinking
ideas.
you're thinking about your interaction with the cop, and it is a little weird. You're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, we both make it.
Oh, hell yeah, we're on it.
So you actually maybe sensed a little fear.
Maybe we've stumbled on something here.
Yeah, it goes like, I asked Dr. Hastings, I said, Dr. Hastings, did you notice anything strange about Sergeant O'Malley today? Dr. Hastings says, yes, he seemed a little scared, didn't he? Yes, I
which
thought
is-
the same thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should get the hell out of here.
Yes, let's not speak of this yet, shall we? Anyone else?
Agreed.
Okay, so you guys basically take the strong box with all its contents and you leave.
Sure.
Okay. Where are you going? You going back to Dr. Hastings' house? You going back to your house? Where you going back to the bar, the Nag's Head bar? Where are you going to?
First of all, I tell
Apartment?
Mr. Casper that he absolutely should not tamper with anything that's inside of the box. The opium pipe, gold. Nobody is to know of this for now.
Let's
knows?
take it back to my place. I got a secure location.
Oh yes, back to the estate. Sure.
Mine. Yeah, after back at the estate.
Yes, we're heading to the Hastings estate then.
You actually there is the Hastings estate, which is actually outside of London, but inside of London you actually have like a brownstone with a little courtyard, Tom. It's pretty nice.
Yes.
Oh, we go there.
The pool, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
And well manicured.
the butler
shrubbery.
the butler answers the door. Oh, master, you're home.
Master.
Alfred, prepare dinner for our guests. We'll have 2 additional tonight.
Of course. Shall I pull something from the cellar?
Ah, yes, the Chateau 80.
Oh, of course, yes. Soft to prepare the dinner and get the wine and whatnot.
Yes.
You guys go. You go into the study. sit down. There's some nice chairs.
I hit the bar right away. By the way, I decided at some point that Professor Doyle is an alcoholic.
We have top shelf.
Yes.
Anything you want.
Oh yeah, he hits the cognac right away. Lights up a cigar.
So you have your nice large sniffers of cognac and your cigars. You're sitting there.
Oh yeah.
The lockbox is sitting in front of you, open. And you got these 3.5 ounce gold Chinese ingots staring you in the face.
We're sitting in the smoking
And the
room.
card.
You know, sitting down, studying them. Let's discuss our next move. We go to investigate this place on the card. What does the card say again?
It's Mrs. Chen's House of Music. That's what it says.
Shit, I made a note of all that and then I didn't save it.
Oh, Mrs. Chen. That sounds Asian.
House of Music, and it has an address on it. And again, the address is definitely down by the waterfront in the Chinese district.
Okay.
You recognize the address.
On the back is written Emerald. And by like handwriting, right?
Yeah, it looks like English handwriting.
Would that be a password or something?
I'm just making notes at the bottom of your summary here.
You do know that that's not uncommon, Dr. Hastings, that, in order to, get into, an underground club or something like that. Yeah, passwords are used.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like they knock at the door, we have to say the word and they let us.
Dr. Hastings, do we know that this is indeed opium? Did that? Take a closer look.
So
I
you
will
guys,
take a closer look.
yeah. So you pull out the pipe and you look at the black, tarry substance, and you smell it, and it is kind of floral and sweet. We should try it.
Go ahead, Mr. Casper.
So he does. He snatches the pipe out of your hands and put half of the tarry substance in there and immediately starts lighting it up. Takes a big long drag and holds it in for quite a while and lets it go. And you can see his whole countenance kind of relax. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the stuff." He's like, "That's very good quality opium."
Clearly,
That's not adulterated. That's very, very high purity opium. He grabs the other part of it out of the box and puts it in a little piece of foil he has, and puts it in a cigarette pack.
While he's playing with the opium, I'm going to have a little discussion with Dr. Hastings. Doctor, do you think that, notice it says Emerald, handwritten on the back of this card, it says Emerald. On the ring that was stolen, the silver band, we were told that band is set with a large emerald. Any connection?
Ooh, that's a very intriguing thought.
Perhaps the ring wasn't as important as the emerald itself in some way.
But why would the police be scared? What would scare them of this? I suggest we keep the police out of it for now.
Well, absolutely. I understand that Mr. Casper has connections with the police department, eh?
He does. Yeah. His boss basically controls the waterfront to some extent, and has a lot of contacts and definitely pays the police off down there.
Well, it wouldn't
That's
surprise me if the police were involved with this whole scandal. Wouldn't surprise me
Casper
one
says.
bit.
Yeah, he says there are dirty cops, of course. It's always possible.
I mean, we must tread very carefully here. We should call on Mrs. Chen's House of Music.
I think that's the prudent move.
Right. So are you going at a particular time? You're waiting till the evening, or are you going early in the morning, or what?
Well, let's at least have another drink first, shall we?
You're here.
So it's probably about 5 o'clock.
I think maybe
Yeah,
it
I
might.
say we should be out before it gets
Yeah.
dark out.
You're getting a little hungry. You figure, you are going to eat.
Well, why would you say that,
Jeeves is
Dr.
fixing
Hasty?
dinner.
What would you like to eat? What, you don't want to go down there in the dark? Surely you're not scared of the dark.
I look at him with a cold stare.
Doyle's getting a little drunk. Oh yeah, and it shuts him down. His face just kind of smile disappears immediately as Doctor gives him that look. Like, oh, of course. We don't want to go over there after dark.
I say we
Dinner
must
is served.
prudent.
The butler comes out. Dinner's served. Ding ding. He's got a little triangle. Ding ding ding. He ushers you into the dining area, and it's elegant. Beautiful. And it's a full 5-course meal, man. He brings out the lobster bisque and has like a rosé for that. You guys drink a bottle of that, and then
Yeah. All crystal glasses.
still serving.
Yeah.
Still serving a cognac.
I apologize for the subservice food. I'm sorry it was late notice.
Oh, it smells wonderful.
It's usually
it is.
better than this.
It is, though. It's excellent. You have a salad, and then there's a cheese plate, and then the main course is like stuffed small bird, quail or something.
Yeah. Doctor, normally I don't like duck very much, but this is excellent. I'll say.
I'm glad
It's
you
followed.
enjoy it.
Yeah, followed by like a wonderful dessert. So by the time you guys get done, it's probably about 7 o'clock. It's pretty dark out. Guys are pretty loaded.
I look
not
at my
too
watch
loaded.
and I say, well,
You're not
shall we be off?
too loaded, but you're a little inebriated, but you're not wasted.
I have a high tolerance.
And you've been eating.
Like 10's my limit. I don't know. Don't you think that an after-hours visit, keep a low profile, maybe look around, get a sense of the surroundings, maybe ask some of the
Okay, but
locals some questions?
I recommend extreme caution. I've got a bad feeling about this. Remember, the people who killed Mr. Maxwell are still out here. They find us sniffing around.
Maybe we should arm ourselves, eh?
Yeah, what do you guys have on you as far as weapons? And I guess Casper is still with you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I really don't care anything normally. I mean,
I go above the fireplace and I pull my double-barrel shotgun down, put it in my trench coat, and I grab my sword off the mantle. Tally ho!
a sword, huh? Well, stop at my house on the way over, and I'll get mine as well.
We do that.
You guys have hand-to-hand skills? Casper asks you. Do you have brawl? Can you brawl?
Hell no. I'm a lover, not a fighter, Mr. Casper.
Understood.
I have a brawl of 50. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Oh,
took wrestling at Cambridge.
and do you have some kind
I
of
was on the
hand-to-hand
wrestling
weapon?
team. Yeah, my fencing's
Okay, yeah,
a
you have a.
65.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I have
So
a, I have like I have like a pocket knife, you know. Uh, but no, I'm not a fighter, and I don't wish to be.
So Casper will give you a like a. It's basically like a dagger. He's like, here, Professor, just in case.
All right.
A small fighting knife. It's not a Bowie, but it's like a small fighting knife.
Okay. I'll put it into my overcoat. What time of year is it?
It's January.
Okay. We're all bundled up.
It's not too awful, but yeah, it's a little chilly out.
All right. Well, I'm just taking my stuff. I mean, I basically have a heavy overcoat. But since we're dressing down, I'm not going to wear any open necktie or fancy. But I do have an attaché case. And if we're going to stop by my house on the way, I can get some of my stuff.
Yeah, you guys can definitely stop. I mean, there's no.
I have like a Kodak
yeah.
folding camera with film and some other stuff like a magnifying glass, compass.
We definitely stop
like
off.
that.
Oh yeah.
Get a second, gentlemen.
I mean, this is like kind of a fighting note.
It is, yeah.
Plus,
Okay, so you guys are heading down to the music, huh?
yeah, and we're going to stop by Professor Doyle's house on the way. He's just going to grab his attaché case with some of his stuff, and also his shotgun. Put it in the boot. A little foreboding. Glad I got my shotgun.
So you guys pull up, across the street, we'll say, and it's a large property, man. It's a big 2-story property, and there's a big porch up front and a front door. You know, all the windows are draped.
Does it appear to be a business? Is there like a sign out front or anything like that, or?
There is a small sign on the front door. Can't really see it from where you're at. Yeah, this is a residential area, but again, it's kind of down and it's down by the waterfront. It's not the best area of town. It's kind of mixed. There's some commercial properties around here, but this is like an actual big house.
Okay, so it looks like a residence.
It's a little, yeah, but it's a little out of place, you know.
Maybe we should just sit here and stake it out for a while.
That's an excellent. See who comes and goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, okay. Very smart. You guys have watched The Wire, haven't you? Right? That's one of the things, man. They're like, that's one of the things. It's like if you ever have a meeting, if anybody ever sets a meeting up with you, you get there a couple days before, whatever, and sit up and watch what the hell is going on and who's there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Always
well,
a good idea.
Well, Professor Doyle's an academic. He doesn't have any experience doing these kind of things. Apparently, Dr. Hastings has read some mystery novels and,
Some Sherlock
Yeah. So
Holmes.
Right.
you guys sit there and you have a car. You're sitting in your vehicle. And you see people approach the door, relatively well dressed, some normal, and they knock on the door, and it looks like from where you're seeing it, it's a smaller statured, like Oriental woman. Or answers the door, and they talk for a second, and then she lets them in.
Can we hear what they say?
What'd you say, Tom?
Can we hear what she says? Or do they say magnolia or anything to her? Or
They're
emerald?
too far away to hear what they're saying, but it looks like you see this happen, this exchange happen a couple times, and it looks like the people walk up to the door, knock on the door, and she answers the door, and they talk for just a brief minute, and then they walk through.
Did they arrive in a vehicle, or did they just kind of walk up the street?
As you're, some of them, you do notice some of them arriving, and one of them arrives in like a taxi. Looks like someone parks down the street. One of them walks up. You're not sure how they got there. Variety.
Any lights on in the house?
Yeah, I mean, you see, there's lights on the first floor and the second floor, and you can hear, you're kind of paying a little more attention. You can hear like the faint sound of music.
Of course, it's the house of music.
It sounds Oriental. Kind of low, very, very pleasant. Actually, quite nice. Now that you're listening to it, you're like,
I think that we
I
should
think I would
have,
like for it.
Mr. Casper, do you think that perhaps take a closer look and doing in there?
Sure. I suppose we could walk up, see what happens.
I was thinking a little
Kinda
more
chuckles.
stealthy than just walking up to the front door, don't you think?
He's like, I could, it might take a little time, but I could, check with my boss and see if there's any, we can discover any information about this place.
That's true.
That's an option.
I'm just thinking it might be wise to, while these people are here, to just at least get a closer look at them so we can get a description of them and find out who they are.
Well, he says, I'll be honest with you guys. I've been around. I've been in the rackets for a long time, and I can tell you what's going on here. It's either gambling, liquor, or opium. This is some kind of location, right? I mean, you got civilians walking up, they're knocking on the door, they're coming in, but they're not coming out. There's either some kind of gambling den here, or illegal bar, or whorehouse, or drugs, or a combination of all the above. Right?
Criminals. I
Or-
get it.
Yeah, we're in the right area for it.
Opium supplier.
It's a pretty well appointed house. which is kind of interesting for this particular spot. So I'd say it's probably, it's some kind of gambling den, or you know the Orientals are all degenerate gamblers. They love to gamble.
Did not
So
know
who
that.
knows? Oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, they love to gamble. Love gambling.
So you don't think we should take a closer look?
He says, of course, there's a lot of English degenerate gamblers too, and he laughs.
We just want to stake it out for a while longer, and
It's like, well, we could stake it out, or we could walk up and knock on the door and see if they'll let us in.
ask if they've seen our lost dog.
I don't know. Maybe that is the password on the back of that card.
No, I'm
Or
pretty
maybe
sure the
it's
word
not.
on the
I
back
don't
of the
know.
card gets us in. Question is, do we want to go in yet? Or do we want to keep staking it out?
Yeah, do we want to find more information about perhaps the owners of this establishment or this residence, or find if the
Casper the
cops?
friendly ghost.
Yeah, see if
Who's your boss? Who would you ask?
It's like, well, Casper says, I hate to be rude and crude about it, but we could probably go in here and do whatever the hell we wanted, right?
Oh my.
It is 1925. Okay. You're pretty well respected individuals, right?
Oh yes, of course.
Ne'er-do-wells, foreigners to boot. So, but of course, maybe discretion is the better part of valor. I don't know.
Well, yes, I mean, I do have a reputation,
Absolutely.
Just a little unsure of where this is all leading us, gentlemen.
But we could go in there and put the boot to him. And he laughs. And he slaps you on the back, Professor. Just joking.
I look at my pocket watch and I'm like, the missus will be expecting me.
Yeah, I suggest a little more caution. Let's scope this place out overnight, see what happens.
Okay, so you guys do. Casper goes out and gets you coffees or whatever, some kind of little street food, and you sit there in the car do your surveillance, and it's basically a repeat of what you've seen. People come up to the front door. They knock. They have some short exchange with the little Asian lady, and then they're let in. But they never seem to leave, at least not by the front door. As they, when she opens the door, you can hear the music a little louder. As you look in, you can see there's here, let me do this.
I think at some point, Professor Doyle will have to walk down the street to the nearest telephone box and call Mrs. Doyle. Let her know that I won't be home tonight.
You can kind of, eventually you can kind of see looks like there's a little entryway with a hallway that goes back, and you can see the little Asian woman come up to the door and talk, and then she goes back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might be best just to kind of stake this place out, and then tomorrow we can question somebody in the police department, find out if they know anything about this place or if it has some kind of reputation should know about. Try to.
Well, I'm not sure the police, but I'd be more interested in what Casper's friends know about it.
Yeah. It might be well known among seedier side of things.
So you guys end your surveillance, and at some point, probably early in the morning, the traffic kind of thins out and pretty much stops. And once daybreak occurs, there's really don't see any activity anymore.
All right. Professor Doyle is snoring in the back seat.
So, so Casper drives Professor Doyle home and drops him off on the front lawn, pretty much.
He staggers into the front door.
Yeah.
And
His wife is
yeah,
waiting. Where
yeah,
have you been?
yeah. Casper
Where
can hear
have
his
you
wife
been?
yelling at him as he walks in.
Sick about you.
It's okay, dear. It's okay. I'm going to bed now. We'll meet up back at the Brownstone a little later this afternoon.
Yeah, so you guys get some sleep, wake up, you eat a little bit, and you reconvene at the Brownstone. And Casper sits down and says, "Yeah, I got a little information on the location. Apparently, it is a Chinese gambling and opium den."
Well, that explains the opium.
Yeah, talk to a couple friends of mine that are pretty big gamblers. That is the password to get in Emerald.
Excellent.
Apparently, they have they have poker games and blackjack and ice.
Doesn't explain.
And then
the
they also
killer
have
Angus.
opium dens upstairs. Apparently, yeah, the gambling's downstairs. They're of course up front there's a little they have a little orchestra playing music and whatnot, but
We need to think about how we're going to approach this then.
yeah, and it's a relatively new establishment. So not really sure exactly who's backing this particular location. There's definitely tongs in the area that have gambling houses and opium dens. I'm not really familiar with this one.
Yeah, all of this makes Professor Doyle feel very uncomfortable. It's kind of not his bag. He is going to consult his somewhat extensive library, or even go to the British Museum as to see if he can do some research on these golden ingots. Find any reference to anything similar in some archaeological journals, or maybe even ask some questions to some of the curators or other professors. If we can find any information on where they're from, what they are.
Okay, so go ahead and make some rolls. Are you doing library research? Are you archaeology? What are you throwing down? And Dr. Hastings, are you helping?
Absolutely. I got library use.
Yeah, maybe we can both just spend a little time, see if we can find any more specific information. I think we know they're maybe related to some Chinese dynasty, but maybe we can find
A little more specific information.
Yeah, looking for maybe a specific connection to where they were found, possibly. Like, I mean, obviously, if they're old, they must have been found or discovered by somebody somewhere. I don't think they've been rattling around in somebody's pocket for 1,000 years.
Right? You'd hope not.
Yeah, I failed my library and archaeology though.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, got my library use.
Okay. You gonna roll anything else, or you want me to reveal your library use stuff first? Oh.
Archaeology too.
Okay, so as you guys you're sitting at the British Museum, you're going through their Chinese collection, documents and whatnot. You find this relatively obscure document, and it's dated around 1390, which is the early part of the Ming Dynasty. Okay. These particular
impressive.
these particular ingots are were created by this feudal warlord that actually led a rebellion against the Mings.
Wait, say that again?
So these ingots were actually minted by this feudal warlord who had this rebellion against the Ming dynasty. He actually rebelled. Um, it was
Ah,
pretty success. It was pretty successful for a short period of time. And then was burned, as a traitor. But there's various there are rumors of like him using black magic or you know employing like witches, poison and that type of thing. Of course, that's not unusual for the conqueror to besmirch the rebellious, right?
right. Yeah, so I've seen this kind of thing before. Knows if it's actually true. I mean, I'm not a superstitious man, say nonchalantly.
Yeah, see, you know that these were actually minted probably in 1390 by this particular warlord. That's fact because there's a couple examples of these ingots located in some private collections.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
exactly what I was looking for.
Do we know
but
what the symbols say? Does it say something in
it
English?
actually has the his name. It's like Chin Li the Conqueror.
Yeah, that would be the next logical step is to figure out the translation of that. So it's just like a name written on it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
How the hell did this burglar wind up with these? Must have stolen them, I assume.
Could he have stolen from this house?
But from who? Yeah. I don't know, we could play out a little ploy on some of these people if we can find... Well, I guess first we need to find clues as to what connection this opium den and gambling house has with Maxwell.
Walk up to the blackjack table and pull out one of the ingots and slap it down.
Well, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Not only that, but maybe play it out so we're playing cards or something and then realize, like, just kind of intentionally lose a lot of money, but to get in a good hand and kind of pull out one of the ingots, is collateral or something. And just kind of see what kind of reaction we get. Kind of what I was thinking.
I'm not sure how powerful my gambling.
Yeah.
I'd want Casper to be ready to bust some heads if necessary.
Well, how's your luck?
There you go.
Hold on, let me look.
But I did think of that, Lee. I thought of that, about 10 minutes ago. I was kind of thinking, like, yeah,
That's very 007-ish.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a great, like, scene in a movie at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's
007 I'm sure has a luck of 99. My luck is that of a coin toss. My luck is that of a coin toss, 50-50.
Well, of course, we could, I don't know, when you think of some way where, can assure that we wouldn't have to let it go. Bring Casper with.
And Casper's like, we don't have to bring the ingots at all. We can just bring money, and go in there and scope the place out at first.
Initially, yeah.
Right? Yeah, we don't have to, then, or we can go in there and put the boot to them right away, whatever.
I mean, really, I think we're looking to see if maybe we can find if some of these people or someone in this group of people deals in stolen fine art and things like that.
Yeah, well, Casper says apparently this Maxwell character was either visiting this place, right, to gamble and to get high, or maybe there's some other connection.
Yeah, they could be like fencing shit in here, stolen goods.
Yeah, exactly.
creep around in the basement or the attic of this place and see what we find.
Yeah, maybe this stuff's in here. Who knows?
Right. But yeah, that would be kind of a cool scene. Maybe that will play out at some point. Ming Dynasty, huh?
1490, or early in the Ming Dynasty.
Black magic? Witches? Poppycock.
I'm intrigued.
He's burned at the stake for a traitor, a usurper, and a practitioner of black magic.
Yeah, it's pretty commonly common trumped up charges back in those days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, black magic. Ridiculous.
Poppycock.
Yes, poppycock.
Poppycock. Foolishness.
Do I
It's
have
like
any?
believing in Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean, I would have a sense of the historical value of these things, but can we maybe get a sense of the actual like monetary value ingots?
Yeah, I mean they're
Their
incredibly
general
valuable.
worth? Yeah,
They're incredible. Yeah, they're incredibly valuable, man.
I would think they are.
Sure. As far as just a gold weight, they're worth quite a bit. I mean, they're 3.5 ounces of gold apiece.
So,
You have
I
10
would
of them,
think given
but
the age, they're just priceless.
Yeah.
mean,
I'm a
I mean,
professor's a fellow at the British Museum. I'm sure that him would love
you
that.
realize to the right person, to the right kind of collector, in the right auction, you could see these things going for, in excess of, $10,000 a piece, easily. Maybe far exceeding that. You're not sure. It would just depend on the location and the audience, right? People that are very, very specific about collecting Chinese artifacts.
Makes me wonder too if this Maxwell fellow possessed these things. Why didn't he just sell them? Why are they hidden under a floorboard? Unless it was a recent acquisition or something.
Yeah, well, maybe he didn't have a chance. Maybe he didn't have a chance to use them.
who's he going to sell them to? They're pretty obvious as well.
We could go to the morgue and resurrect him and question him, but that's the wrong game.
Yeah, I don't have that spell
We
yet.
don't have that yet,
Yeah.
fortunately.
Yeah, there's no querying the dead so far in this universe.
Right. Where's the cultist Asgulis when you need it? Well, I
All
suppose.
right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to pass out. I'm sorry, I'm passing out on me. here.
That's perfect, man. 11 o'clock's perfect, Tom. That was fun. Yeah, good game, guys.
That was good. No,
Yeah.
I'm ready for the. We'll do a little bit of research, finish up our research, then we're gonna have to go to the House of Music for sure. That's
Yeah,
obviously
that
the
was
next
good.
step.
It gives us a lot of different kind of options to think about and how best to find out what happened to this valuables.
Yeah, you guys learned a lot tonight.
Here we go. We're right on the train track to hell.
Nice.
Little do we know it. All right, fellas. Until next time. Hopefully, we can get everybody together next week.
Yeah, hopefully Kyle will be feeling a little bit better. And
Yep. All right, cool. Well, I recorded the session. I'll post it up in Discord
Oh,
here
awesome.
so the other fellows can watch it and get filled in.
yeah, and hopefully at some point we can get everybody together. We can finish up the temple.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I got ideas.
All right, gentlemen.
Or I'll die. All right, guys. Good night.
All right,
Good
good
night.
night, fellas. Have a good one.
Yep.
Thanks, Lee.
See ya.
Yeah. Good game, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.